Hello, everyone. Welcome to Tarot Playdate number 66. Oh, my camera wants to turn me all kinds of funny colors today. Let's see if that helps a little bit. So don't turn pink. Okay, we're going to turn all kinds of colors today. Let's see here. I think what's happening is my camera is focusing on light behind me. There, am I a normal color? A normal human color? Anyway, happy Easter to everyone who celebrates or cares. Looks like I'm still going orange and pink today. What is happening? Okay, I don't know if that's happening on your side, but it's happening on my side. Apparently, I'm just going to keep changing shades. We'll have a little bit of a disco effect going on in here. Anyway, it is so great to see so many people in here already. I'm going to say some hellos, but if anybody wants to share how their Six of Swords week perhaps went this week. Did you leave any baggage behind? Did you move on to smoother waters? Tell me your stories. And in the meantime, let me say hello to Richard, Longman Tarot, first one in today. Gracia is here. Jackie Jacaranda. Becca, hi. And Patrice, hello, lovely yourself. Sandra is here. Chris, Elemental Cartomancy. Hey, gorgeous tarot people. Let's see, we have Tyken Light Moon is here. And there he is, Simon A. up, grabbing his kappa. Hopefully you're all settled now. And let's see, Elle is there. Hello, hello. Gigi Nilsson. And let's see, scrolling. Why do I keep turning pink? All right, my chat just jumped like huge again on me there. I saw Kim Moon Whispers where I left off. Okay, we're just gonna try. Why? Stop it. There. I'm gonna be pink all day today. I do not know what's happening. We have Pel's Tarot Tent. Hello, Donna Riedler. Hi, and Emily's Tarot Magic, and Justin Michael. Hi, Justin, and Debbie Aquarius Owl. Nice to see you. Elizabeth. Hello. Sea Cat is here. Antoinette, Intuitive Tarot and Jewelry. Hello. Zane, Tarot Token Witchery. You missed us last week when we showed your deck as one of my extra cards, Zane. But it's nice to see you here this week, of course. And we have Queen Osset Hero. Hello, Erica. And we have, whoa. And then we have Michelle is here. Hello, and Tarot Trainee. Elle Gardner. I'm having a beautiful day, although it's just getting started. Although it's not beautiful outside. Beautiful all week. And today I'm supposed to actually go outside. Not beautiful. Barbara Sharp is here. Ooh, having a 73-degree Carolina day. That's Fahrenheit, so nobody thinks she is boiling. Lori Tries Life is here. Pamela Batchelor. Oh my gosh, we have such a crowd today. Nancy Crohn's Intuition. Brittany Steffens, hello. Brittany, are you new catching up? I feel like I saw some comments. I feel like you're kind of new to Playdate. White Tree Tarot and May's Cat, first time here, welcome. White Tree Tarot is here. Han M, that's another new name for me, welcome. Oak Mama, hi Melanie. And did I make it? Oh, Kay Thompson, hello Kay. Felina Fortuna. Oh gosh, okay, we got some new folks. Sorry I'm pink today. What's going on? Okay, nobody has answered me in chat. Do I look pink to anybody else? Let me go over to the YouTubes and see what I look like over here. Yeah, I'm turning pink over here too. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, we are going to roll with it, my friends. We are going to roll with it. Maybe it's the lipstick color that distracts the camera. I don't know. I can't explain it. We're just going to keep. Okay, yeah, it's not too terrible. I mean, we're gonna be colorful today. Maybe one of our cards that's left is the 10 of Cups. So I don't know. Maybe that one will show up. Just a warm glow, yeah. And then I'll go back to a normal color. My setup is the exact same as it is every week, but I need to not obsess about these things because that's just not healthy. So we'll just stop. All right, my friends. Ah, thank you. Butterfly Moore, and hello, by the way. Oh, is Chris sweet talking me and did I miss it? Aw, he is. Thank you, Chris. That's all right, Zane. But just so you know, Shane's here. My son is here. Hello, Shane. Your mom's turned a completely different color today and nobody knows why. All right, Sue, before we move on, I guess, what we need to do before I can shuffle this very much shrinking deck, we technically have 13 cards left. I saw you guys chatting in chat about having 12 cards. Today, we'll use up the 13th and then 12 cards left. And I did a little math. We have 6 majors, 5 court cards, and 2 minors left. So as I shuffle, before I shuffle, I'm going to need a list of 5 questions that we will use my alternate decks to answer that I have randomly selected from my collection for the new folks. Does anybody come prepared for questions that they would like our card of the week to answer for them this week? And if so, like Emily is showing you how it's done, put them in all caps. Oh, I am so copy pasting that. Let's see what we've got here. How can we step more into our authenticity and allow ourselves to shine bright without feeling the need to shrink ourselves to be agreeable for others ahead of the new moon in Aries? Okay, can I even copy paste that? Oh, I can if I switch over here. Okay, I got this. Thank you, Emily, for your question. So funny. This is a theme. This has been a theme a lot lately that has been coming up for me, this whole idea of authenticity and allowing ourselves to really just kind of put our authentic selves out there and not worry so much about what other people think. It can be tricky. It'll be fun to see how this card answers this. All right, so ahead of the new moon. We ran out of room, Emily, in my thing because I wanted to put your name as well. Okay, so we'll just say ahead of the new moon. There we go. All right, let's see if we have any others while I've been stalling on that one. Robin here. Hi, Robin. Nice to see you. Jackie's hoping for a major. It's okay, Emily. I got your question. And let's see here. I actually think it's a great question. Any more? Oh, I got one from Debbie here. Oh, I got 3 came in all at once. I'm loving this. What will be a positive message to get us through the week? Looking for a little uplift there. Okay, what will be a positive message? I'm cheating today and copy pasting, so everything will be in all caps in the banners today. There we go. From Aquarius Owl. If only I could get my copy paste skills going. All right, that's T questions. And then, Oak Mama is asking us, what do we need to let go this week? Another good question. Kind of carrying on with as we're moving forward with our 6 swords, right? And that is Oak Mama. You guys are bringing the questions fast today. Thank you so much. And then from Brittany, a new tarot play dater. What coping skills or what can I do to manage the stress of the upcoming week in a healthy way? Okay, so I'm going to frame that, Brittany, in a way that's kind of for the collective, but I think that's a great question. Thank you very much. So let's see here. What coping skills? Let's see, I want to drop this in here. Brittany Stephens. What coping skills? Or maybe what can we do? Here, I'll turn that down. What can we do to manage the stress of the upcoming week in a healthy way? So, I mean, we're all likely to encounter stress at some point, so we'll be prepared. And from Antoinette, thank you everyone for bringing questions so quickly for me tonight. It's still morning here. How can we better manage our finances going forward? Ooh, that's always a good one. No, I don't have any pentacles left. Maybe I do. Maybe I do have a pentacles left. Not that that's always the answer. Let's see here. from Antoinette. How can we better manage our finances going forward? Now, some people in the chat are probably thinking, I manage my finances just fine. But you know what? There's always a tip we can take away, right? Okay, we have quite an interesting mix of questions today. Oh, Mama says, I burned the paper from the activity last night. It burned so fast in the fireplace. I need to figure out how to burn things without smoking myself out or setting off the fire alarm. Like I think I watched, Kim posted in Tarot Playdate this beautiful picture and it looked like something was burning. No smoke was coming off of it. If there is a trick to like burning things like as part of rituals or little spells or whatnot, or letting go without smoking ourselves out, will you please share that with me? Because I just do not know how to do it. All right, let's get to shuffling, folks. And let's see what we get. So let's recap our questions as I shuffle here. So from Emily's Tarot Magic, oops, I need to fix that a little bit. We have, how can we step more into our authenticity and allow ourselves to shine bright without feeling the need to shrink ourselves to be agreeable for others ahead of the new moon in Aries? I have to remember that last bit. From Aquarius Owl, what will be a positive message to get us through the week? From Oak Mama, what do we need to let go this week? From Brittany Steffens, what can we do to manage the stress of the upcoming week in a healthy way? And then from Antoinette, Intuitive Tarot and Jewelry, how can we better manage our finances going forward? Let's see if I can riffle shuffle this teeny tiny shrinking little deck here. Oh, just a little one. You couldn't see it. If I would have tried to show you, we would have had dropsies all over the place. I, for some reason, feel like I need to cut that again. Hold on. Okay, I need to be more concentrated. I'm too chatty already. All right. Are we ready? Oh, thank you for linking the Tarot Playdate Facebook group. Our card. Ooh. We have Judgment. I did not expect this in answer to the question. So this is going to be really interesting. This is the card I've been predicting for like 2 weeks before this because I kept getting it in my daily draws. And of course, the one time I think, Judgment, no way. Look what appears. All right, Sue. Burn it under the range hood. Oh, that's a good idea, Donna. Robin says maybe it's dependent on the kind of paper, answering my questions about how to burn things. Thank you so much. And then Emily says if I have a cast iron pot, I can go outside with that and burn whatever you need. Oh, that's true. I guess I have this tiny little cauldron and I want to burn it in there, but you're right. I should take it outside. That's actually a really smart idea. All right, first impressions. How are we feeling about this? Justin Michael says it's a great card. Powell's already feeling it. Chris called it. Oh, did you predict it, Chris? Nicely done. Judgment seems kind of appropriate for Easter Sunday. Yeah, yes, it does. No. Antoinette's already answering her question. Ouch. That's just telling me no decks ever again. I don't think that's what it's saying, but we'll talk about that when we get to your question. White Tree Tarot. Oh, yes, it's so appropriate. Initial meanings, thoughts, and ideas. So in addition to your first impressions, Simon here, accounting for past actions. Does anybody else see this as like the karma card? This to me is the karma card, not this. I mean, I kind of see that a little bit with justice, but this one here is where I feel like things come due. You know, we have to think about and reflect on, like Simon said, our past actions and how that's gotten us to where we are today, for better or for worse, right? Let's see what else you guys say here. Sometimes there is no one to blame. Judgment for Easter. How? You don't see it, Oklahoma. I guess maybe isn't it because of the whole idea of this resurrection that's happening here, right? Oh, Tarot trainee, you were studying this card last night. Ooh, then you should have some good insights to bring for us. Elizabeth says, yep, a fitting card. Chris said, we got death last Easter and this Easter is judgment. Did we really? How do you remember that? That's impressive. The tarot is no joke. It really is not. I mean, I laugh about it a lot, but it's no joke. Rebirth, says Oak Mama. Are those flames in the hair? We will, Pamela, when we get, that's a good question, right? There is definitely some orange in the hair. And early on, I'm going to remember the melanated today. And let's take a look at this one. Definitely not flames in the hair, but we have, look at that. Look at the difference. Usually they're pretty close, but we have some significant differences in this card today. That's cool. All right, so we'll look at both of these here for a minute, and then we'll dive into the symbols too. Let me hold this there. Can you guys see that okay? You will get the close-up look, I promise. Let's see here. L. Gardner says, this one is shadowy for me since I grew up getting freaked out as a child in a cultist church that had a focus on Armageddon and the end times. Love to find some new and better meanings for me. We got you. We got you, L. L, just the letter L, not the E-L-L. Barbara, right? You can't make this stuff up. Okama says, inner calling. Let's see if we can keep this from jumping too bad. Gypsy in the forest, hello. Rebirth, spring coming out of the plague. Okay, that's definitely a way to look at it. Antoinette, own it. No one else is responsible for those actions. Taking responsibility is a huge part of personal growth, I think. Longman Tarot, are we accountable for our actions? Yes, very good question. Donna, learning to forgive yourself and others and move on. Elle says, I get justice when I'm right in my thinking. I get judgment if I need to reassess my thinking. Oh, that's interesting. I know you like to apply like kind of really very consistent messages. So that's an interesting one. Hi, Kristen. Nice to see you. And Jumpy Jet. Simon says, our time will come. I mean, it does for everyone, doesn't it? Feline says, taking responsibility, forgiveness, humbling. Does anybody know what the melanated flag is? I'm going to assume, I should not assume. I will not assume. I feel like I know what it is, but I don't trust myself, and I'm geographically challenged. So let's just see if the book says, but somebody probably does know who's in chat, who knows better than I do. And this will be one of those things that I get to learn today. Let's see. It doesn't say what flag. This book is so good, but yet it doesn't tell us that. All right. Anybody who knows this better than me, please feel free to share it in the chat. It's a good question, Robin. Let's see here. Chris says, judgment is the being unplugged from the matrix card for me. We rise up and finally perceive reality as it is and not through a filter. Oh, that's interesting. Pan-African flag, says Metalark Mystic. Thank you for answering that question. I wanted to say it based on the deck. I was going to assume it was an African flag. Oh, Kristen knew that as well. Thank you for that, you guys. Let's see, up here. Justin said, in the Rider deck, it doesn't appear that anyone is being judged. They seem to be celebrating and welcoming the Trumpster. Yeah, they do seem to be like, hey, we're excited. I need to scooch myself over so I can hold both these cards. There we go. And Neem, hi Neem, consequence with judgment. And then Simon says, transformation is coming, be open to a new direction. We're almost to the world, right? So we're kind of reaching the end of this kind of major journey that we've been taking in our lives, right? Let's see. Elle says, ooh, our time will come about judgment. Yep. Let's see. Emily says, I often feel it's a bit like an assimilation of self, a final lesson and realization. It's up-leveling. Ooh, I like that concept. Pamela says, the cross reminds me of the medical crew symbol. And scrolling back here, Barbara says, there's always forgiveness and redemption. Did I say hi to you, Metalark Mystic? I think I did when you gave us the flag. That's right. And then Oklahoma said, yeah, it's a flag for the Pan-Africanist movement. Simon, don't resist the call to change. Feline, sometimes we need a reality check. It's good to take it down a notch and self-assess. Yes, very true. We have to stop and take stock. Yeah, I love the melanated deck. Let's see here. I'm scrolling, I'm looking. We're kind of like, oh yeah, I'm not a fan of the RWS melanated. Robin says, calling me into account for my critical nature. Oh, is it pulling you up a bit, Robin? Justin says, I see it as a new way of thinking, something revolutionary. It's a reawakening. That's cliche, new age definition, but it's how I see it. Why are you judging? Your response to judgment, Justin. No judgment here. I mean, not in that way. Chris says it also speaks about drawing a line under all of the shit that's happened in the past, dealing with it, learn what we can, and truly move past it. Yeah. And somebody recently told me a quote. Was it you, Al? I'm not sure, but somebody said to me something about like, you kind of repent once for a mistake that you've made, right? You deal with it, you make amends. That's justice. But then if you're asked to repent or make amends over and over again, now we're reaching, and I don't remember what it was. It was like torture is what it felt like to me, but something else. And maybe that's getting to an unhealthy place of judgment, right? Is I guess what I'm thinking. White Tree Tarot says, when you hear the call, you'll answer. Jessica Reed. Hi, Jessica. Let go of old ways and awaken to new possibilities. And Pamela says, profound awakening, ending in transformation. Yeah, Becca, isn't the melanated is always so pretty. Wake up call, says Justin. A calling, listen. So we're all kind of getting that concept of the call, the calling, right? And I guess that trumpet really helps swing that one home. Let's see. We're chatting about when Easter was last year, so we know if it was. I think we've decided that we had the death card on Easter. Is that the consensus? And I saw Kay say, yes, Jen, but I don't know what I said. Lori says self-loathing, Jen. That's it. Oh, talking about the justice versus. I already forgot what I was up on my soapbox about. Robin says the trumpet's flag is like saying, don't cross me. Oh, there you go. Elle says paying once for a mistake is justice. Paying more than once is injustice. Oh, was it that easy? The opposite of justice? Yes. It was you that told me that, wasn't it? I thought that was a good one. But I can see how that could become like a shadowy side of judgment as well, as I guess where my head was going. Pauline says you shouldn't wallow in your mistakes and past actions. It's good to be aware, but don't beat yourself up again and again. Yes. And then here, this is a great question to ask when you see this card. Who's judging whom? White Tree Tarot says, sometimes I see this card as an end of a level in a computer game. Your achievements and points will be counted, and hopefully you'll be let through to the next level. Jessica says it's time to forgive yourself for past regrets. Tarot trainee, recently this reminded me to give up the mindset that was blocking my forward movement. So you got this card and that's what came up for you. And Jessica, release past grudges. Yeah. Elle likes to bring me the good quotes, that's for sure. Okay. Thank you, Kay. I gotcha. So for the same mistake though, right? Elle, is that what you mean? Yeah, I think that's what we mean. Like you shouldn't have to pay over and over again, right? For the same thing. If you do your thing, if you make your amends, you take responsibility, you take ownership, you learn the lessons and you carry that forward, then either for someone else to keep bringing that back to you or for you to keep bringing that back to yourself, that's not serving a purpose. There's nothing more to be gained or to be learned other than maybe to make somebody feel better if somebody else is judging you or giving them power over you, or you're holding yourself back. Anyway, sorry. I have thoughts about that. Can you tell? Oh, it was the codependency recovery book. That's a good book. I'm really intrigued to read that one. Oh, bye, Emily. Thanks for coming for a bit. Pamela said, whoops, I don't want to skip Pamela. Surrender ego for the betterment of all. Chris says, I'll be bringing the New Era Elements Judgment in Facebook group this week. Pretty sure it's my all-time fave. Oh, yes, please. Please do share your favorites. Becca says, our greatest judge is ourselves mostly, and we are the harshest judges of all, are we not? And then Justin says, perhaps the dead are celebrating learning that death is just an illusion. It's a step in a new direction and not the end. Yeah, there doesn't seem to be fear in this card, does there? Chris says, it really brings the focus to how we judge ourselves the worst. Yes, exactly. That's what I was saying too. Shall we take a close-up look and start diving into some of the symbols and kind of see what we see? Or let me know if there's something that you noticed today that you haven't seen before in this card when we take this nice close-up look. So here we have our trumpeter in the clouds. I'm not sure I've really ever paid that much attention to the mountains in the background. I also tend to notice the three people in the front more so than I notice the three people in the back. And then also we kind of have these choppy waters. Now looking at the melanated, there are a few differences as we've already kind of seen. Does he look like he's rolling his eyes at us a little bit? Like, here we go again, folks. And same kind of positions with all of our people. The water looks a little bit calmer in this one to me. Not that that hugely matters, but all right, we're going to do the thing where I kind of switch back and forth now so I can get this one a little bit closer and read your comments. Let's see what you guys are saying here. So Meadowlark Mystic said, integrating all aspects of ourselves into a new journey, male, female, child. Yes. Simon is ready for us. Thank you, Simon. The 6 people, those we associate with, family or friend, also many aspects of ourselves, masculine, feminine, and childlike aspects. So just like what Meadowlark Mystic was saying there as well. Oh, thanks for coming. Speaking of, I don't know if you're already gone. Let's see. The trumpet with the 7 stripes. 7 stripes. Okay, I didn't even notice the 7 stripes. Let's take a look here. Look at that. 1, 2, 7 stripes. They're not very clear here. Are they more clear here? Let's see. Okay, well, I'll just keep reading. I won't get too obsessed there. 1 for each figure. The trumpet of the day of judgment awakens our sleeping energy and brings the dead back to life. And then I'm going to come back to your comment here, Gypsy in the Forest. And then the red cross, differentiation and connection. The tasks of taking leave and separating on the one hand and reconciliation and unification on the other. Well, there's a lot going on in that flag. Gypsy in the Forest says, in Judaism on Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement, they sound the shofar. I don't know if I'm saying that one right. Heralding the very end of the day with hopes to have been inscribed in the book of life. Wow. Let's see here. Melanie's noticing mountains and coffins, portals, and water. Elle says, content in death, which with justice again, I suppose it would be an injustice to not be truly ready yet. Oh, that's interesting thought. Kay says, it's like he's saying not again, like this one rolling their eyes, right? Antoinette says, they're all naked. It's like a mass christening or a cult. Oh, goodness. I mean, there's shadow in everything, right? Simon says, the angel. All 7 figures represents parts of you, including the angel. So kind of adding that into the aspect of self. He stands for your power of motivation and transformation. He warns against any airy, groundless beliefs. I love that. Airy, like all that stuff in the mind, right? Groundless beliefs. I want to think on that for a second. Simon says the nudity, I think there's this typo there, something up to the naked truths, openness, honesty, beauty, and truth, and not least eroticism and lust. Yeah, there's a lot that can be kind of taken from the fact that they are naked, right? And do we have, I guess it doesn't say vulnerability, but that kind of always comes for me when I see people who are naked in the tarot. And then Feline says that in the melanated, it looks like he's looking up for reassurance for some higher power. Like, am I doing this right? I mean, I don't mean to mock it, but I get what you're saying. Okay, Simon said the blue mountains in the background, nirvana, continual new beginnings and transformation. Justin says, I've heard people debate which angel, come back. This is blowing the horn. Some say Michael or Gabriel, but the angel named in the holy books is Raphael? Is Raphael? Tarot Trainee says the red in the hair looks like internal enlightenment. You see the white of it in melanated. Yeah, I guess here, right, we have the glow around the head, kind of that white glow kind of representing that, where then in here we have like the red bits in the hair. That's interesting. Chris says all the people are kind of not black and white, but monotone, right? There's no color. We don't see the pigment in their skin. Then there's this flashy bitch in front with fresh highlights. And maybe that's because that's what's supposed to pull our focus. There's something above that's supposed to matter more than maybe us peons on the ground in the coffins in the water, perhaps. Justin says basically he's calling people to itself to essentially rebuild the temple. Interesting. Oh, thank you, Gypsy in the Forest. Oh, Israel. Oh, he's calling people to Israel to essentially rebuild the temple. That makes better sense. Thank you, Justin, for clarifying that. So Tarot Trainee says in a book from yesterday, when they were studying this, the red cross on the flag was a crossroads. Oh, I can see that too. Okay. Kay's hanging out with us from the bathtub. I appreciate you joining while bathing. That's like me when I watch Tarot Tube from the shower. Ram's horn, Jen. Oh, where's the ram's horn? Did I miss something leading up to that, Becca? I'm like looking. I don't know where the ram's horn is. Oh, that's okay, Kay. You're in the bath. Caps are fine. It gets the message across. Let's see here. Lori says it's hard to break from judging myself. I was so bad at it. I think we all at some point or another, and maybe I shouldn't speak for everybody, but I think it's quite common in the shared human experience to find ourselves judging ourselves. Antoinette says the St. George's flag denotes the slaying of the dragon, facing your fears. Okay. See, again, it's like this concept of there's not fear in this card to me. Does anybody else see that or think differently about that? Let's see. Gypsy in the Forest says we are born naked, so probably wouldn't be wearing clothes for rebirth. Yeah, good point. Tarot Trainee, I like the naked aspect there, like not hiding your true self. That'll come in handy later when we're answering some of the questions, won't it? Oh, Simon's fixing this for me. Nudity, facing up to the naked truth. Thank you, Simon. I usually can figure it out, but that one got by me. Openness, honesty, beauty, and truth, and not least eroticism and lust. Got it. And I'm going to try and get caught up here a bit. So if I skip anybody, please don't be offended. Antoinette said, isn't it the same angel as the one in the Lovers with the red wings? And I don't have that one. I have this one handy. I've always thought that there was a relationship between them. So here, it's not literally the same one, at least not in this deck, right? But there certainly are those similarities, aren't there? It's an interesting observation. So Donna says the angel in the melanated is asking the higher power if they are sure about the decision to save these people. Like, oh, did anybody notice? I just did. You probably noticed. You're like, Jen, you're holding up the Lovers. Yeah, it's like, oh, are we sure about this? Chris said, no, Jen, the woman, one of the corpses who has risen from the dead, has bright blonde hair. Oh, yeah, huh? I was thinking it was the angel, but you're right. I did not even notice that. Yeah, everybody else has like no color. And here she is like, blondes do have more fun. Oh, shofar is a ram's horn. Okay. All right. I know I'm behind in the chat, but thanks for your patience as I get caught up. Oklahoma says they're like newborns coming through portals to a new existence where they start gray and start a new journey. Is that what? So do we think these people are coming in like fresh, or have they already lived some kind of life? So is the color maybe all the color and all of the things don't matter in the end. Like all the things we stressed about at the end, maybe wasn't worth all of that time and energy, perhaps. Let's see here. Justin says, Waite Smith used several different stories in the deck. They are all the same story, just told a different way. The Grail, the Temple, it's a story of loss and redemption. White Tree Tarot says 3 figurines or figures in the front here can be associated with 3 people in the death card. Male on the left, female on the right, child in the middle. Okay, all right. That's interesting. Hi, Regina Tarot. Nice to see you. Oh, and then Becca says blowing the shofar, the ram's horn. Okay. I think I'm starting to get it. I don't know it well, but you guys are educating me. Pamela says, we will be judged without any adornments acquired in life. Our true self, our true heart will be judged. Scrolling some more here. I think I'm almost caught up with y'all. Simon says, they are coming from their graves. It's the final judgment. Tamitha, hello. Nice to see you. Well, I appreciate you going back to watch the older ones, but it's nice to see you here live. And then Robin says, are you judging me? Don't put me in a box. I'm thinking outside the box, right? Some of us maybe don't want to stand in that coffin. Bye, Oak Mama. Thank you for being here. And then Elle says, our flesh suits mean nothing. It's the inside that matters, as they say. I like that term flesh suit better than meat suit. That one always makes me cringe a little bit. Donna says, they have left behind material things to move into a more enlightened phase. Yes. So do we have any other thoughts on any of the symbols or anything in the card that kind of grabs your attention that we want to discuss before we move on to alternative cards and talking about or answering our questions? Thoughts? I'm going to take a quick sip of water so my throat doesn't get too dry. And I messed this all up. That's pretty typical. All right. It's pretty quiet, so I think you guys are ready. We're ready for the first alternative deck. Flesh suit makes me think of Silence of the Lambs. Yeah, doesn't it though? All right, I think I have a fun mix, but we're going to start off with something that's probably fairly close to the RWS because I have the good old Morgan Greer here. I really need to get a tin for this box because this poor sad box. I mean, I have the version that's in a tin, but I need something for my big Morgan Greer. All right, let's see what we've got for Judgment here. Do we think we have an awesome, no awesome stash? Okay, this is going to be a little bit different viewpoint, I think. So I'll be interested to see what you think. It puts the lotion on the skin. I was trying to come up with that quote, but you know me, when I'm in the spotlight, I forget everything. All right, so here is Judgment from the Morgan Greer. It's a lot of kind of energy that sort of seems to be like blowing across the top there. Now here, what's different and interesting is we don't have an angel type figure above. We have one of the humans kind of holding up this trumpet, right? So, and then they're kind of coming at us and looking toward us. Again, no real pigment in the human skin. What do you think? Everybody's freaking out about the Silence of the Lambs. Oh, Gardner says, I love my Morgan Greer deck. Does this bring a different energy to the card for you? It still has a bit of a celebratory vibe to me, which I've never really thought about when looking at Judgment until today with kind of all the comments you guys have said. Becca says, I'm glad I no longer believe I will be at any Judgment Day. And it's interesting. I think if you have a belief system that makes you feel like you're going to be accountable to some higher power at some point, whether it's God or something else, right? That could really change how you look at this card versus somebody who thinks something else happens with when we leave this earthly plane. Feline says, suddenly I'm in the new moons for a nice Chianti, or you're in the mood for a nice Chianti. I mean, I say celebrate, right? Any thoughts on the actual card? Sometimes my chat goes a little bit behind here, so let me see if I can kind of get caught up here. So Blue people brings Avatar to mind. Barbara says, grateful for redemption. They won't squander their second chance. Oh, I like that. They're like, phew, we can get this right this time, right? Donna says, it's so strange to me that in all the cards, their sarcophagi are in the water, floating merrily along. Yeah, what is the meaning of those being in the water rather than in the ground? Does that make it more of an emotional, spiritual connection than maybe one that's supposed to be more literal and grounded? Chris says, I was looking back, Simon, I can't see if you said, what's the significance of the water and the Judgment card? Chris, can you stay out of my head? It's creeping me out. Just kidding. It's fine. Tap into your intuition all you want here. Oopsie. White Tree Tarot says, there's no angel here. These people are holding the horn themselves. Exactly. Elle says, we always instinctively place judgment as something negative, with judgment also brings reflection, triumphs, and lived experience. Yeah, I think we have to be willing to reflect and look back and look at our successes, not just the things where we thought we failed, the things we thought we did wrong, the things we feel like we maybe still need to atone for. It's being able to look back on all of it, right, with that higher judgment. Antoinette says, wash away sins of ancestors. Ooh. Oh, I like this. We are responsible for our own redemption. So this card maybe makes it feel like we're taking more personal responsibility for that rather than handing it over to somebody else to judge or make judgment. Yeah, the water's not referenced. And so when Simon's talking about that, I know we have some new folks in here. Simon is always really great and brings references from the Ultimate Guide to the Rider-Waite-Smith, which will show us symbols and kind of give us meanings for the various symbols in the card, which is really fun. So thank you for looking for us, Simon. Tarot Trini says, that's very in your face. Like all of the people I know that have come from a rough situation just threw out all the I'm something, deal with it posts. Oh, I'm me, deal with it posts. Oh, yeah, I think we have to be careful. There's a difference between authentic and being an asshole. You know what I mean? Life is a flow. Yes, Pals Tarot Tent. It certainly is. Oh, Astaria Sen, hello. Nice to see you here. Let's see here. Feline, yes, taking pride in how far you've come. And then Barbara said, yes, maybe not true biological death, but death of the spirit, which we always have an opportunity to atone for. Then Hans says, we are in our own higher power. Oh, I love that too. Simon says, although it says the light blue sky, which is not necessarily in this version of the card, but in this version, it says lightness, purpose of will. Negative aspects are naivety and intoxication. Oh, that's interesting. Leanne says, oh, hey, Leanne, the Morgan Greer card reminded me that some families make a family mission. The mission outlines the family's purpose, goals, and standards. I mean, do any of you have like kind of a personal mission statement or a value statement or anything that you've actually defined for yourself as how you want to live your life? I think that can be a really cool exercise that can really impact how you move through the world. Shanti Diva, hello. Let's say, Chris says the Hermit's Cave, we could say it's the collective unconscious rising up out of it. I've been thinking a lot about collective unconsciousness lately and universal consciousness. Pamela says water to Carl Jung is our collective unconscious, our font of existence. Okay, so Chris and Pamela are kind of on a similar track there. So should we try to answer Emily's question? Did Emily have to run away? I don't remember. So I'll read this for you because it's a long one. How can we step more into our authenticity and allow ourselves to shine bright without feeling the need to shrink ourselves to be agreeable for others ahead of the new moon in Aries? And I think this card is like the perfect version to answer this. I mean, I haven't seen the others, but it feels really right to answer it with this one. How can we step more into our authenticity and allow ourselves to shine bright without feeling the need to shrink ourselves to be agreeable for others? And then Chris had said, mission statement, life is short, don't be an arsehole. That's a good mission statement, Chris. And then Simon had said, yes, blue is also universal healing. So maybe that's what we experience at Judgment. Ooh, I like that. Regina said, the idea of your soul family. And then Elle said, if we think of death in tarot context, transformation, the commemorating the transformation and how it served you. Aha. Pamela says, I love the personal mission thing. Justin, amen. And then Antoinette says, if you break it down into colors, we have yellow for your solar plexus and blues for your throat chakra. Speak with integrity and purpose. Right. So has anybody read, I've been on this kick lately, like remembering when I read The Four Agreements by Miguel Ruiz, I think. And I believe now his son has written another book. But it's that whole, oh shoot, it just ran out of my head as I was explaining where it came from. Be impeccable with your word. And what that means is like speaking your truth, but also making sure that not only your out loud voice is doing that, but your inside voice, right? That you're being kind and true to yourself when you speak to yourself, right? Not using the, oh gosh, I dropped that, I'm so stupid language, right? So it's applying that internally and externally. Something about this made me think of that. Let's see here. Barbara says, whoopsie, embrace the authenticity, proceed with gratitude. Gypsy in the Forest, redemption is a journey. Tarot trainee, recognize your authentic self and celebrate it. Don't apologize for it. Don Miguel Ruiz, thank you, Patrice. That's who wrote The Four Agreements. Elemental Carmen, I'm struggling to take in the question. So let me simplify it for you. How can we step more into our authenticity and allow ourselves to shine bright? So if we take away the judgments of others, I've been talking about this a lot lately in my personal life. It's like when we rely on the judgments of others, whether they are good, whether they are bad, whether we seek compliments, validation, or whether we let other people's criticisms affect how we feel about ourselves and how we are authentically moving through the world, then we're not really being our authentic selves. We're performing for others, for good or for bad. So if we can remove all of those external judgments and rely on ourselves and how we want to proceed with our personal mission statement, values, ethics, morals, etc., if you're living it truly authentically, what people say to you or about you, for better or for worse, really won't matter. Anyway, again, soapbox. I'm back down. Let's read your comments. Feline says, yes, to tarot trainee. Be true to yourself because it's your life to live and you do it for yourself, not to please others. Antoinette says, ooh, I like that. Impeccable with your truth. Leanne, an angel blows a great trumpet in the RWS. In the Morgan Greer, the angel is replaced by a cloud, puff, and a French horn. And they're holding it up themselves, which I love about this particular version of the card. Like somebody earlier saying, like, we're responsible for this. Justin says, make up your own mind. Don't look to others to see what you can see when you can clap and laugh. Yes, exactly. Okay, Barbara's feeling me. Donna says, release yourself from that sarcophagus of limiting beliefs and self-judgment. Hell to the yeah, Donna. Let's see. Feline says, back to your personal mantra. Live your best life. You do you. Yes. Elle says, yes, our life becomes one big reaction to others. See, I'm glad you guys kind of get what I was trying to say there. I don't know if we answered Emily's question, but I think the answer is in the question itself, right? How can we step more into our authenticity and allow ourselves to shine? It's remove those external judgments is kind of, I think, how I would answer that particular question. But continue to bring your thoughts as I pull out our next deck for today. Clearly, I am chatty today. Let's see. Fire the prosecuting attorney in your head. Yeah. Yes, I love that. All right. I have made it through my entire collection again. I have one new deck in my collection that's going to make an appearance here in a little bit. So we're circling around and kind of pulling back decks that we've had before. I don't think it's been too long since we had this one, but it was randomly selected. And that is the Victorian Romantic Tarot by Baba Studio. I do have the book handy in case we find that we need it, because this is like pre-existing artwork, right? So sometimes that can be a little tricky, but I feel like this one, I feel like we can work with this. We're smart folks, right? Chris had said, I think the answer is we need to do the work and deal with our shit to allow ourselves to move on. Quite often what we see as the judgment of others is us projecting our judgment of ourselves. Very true. Agree with that. Gina says, the fact of them holding up the horn reminds me of something I say a lot about prayer, ritual, magic, and setting intentions. We have to meet all of those practices halfway with action. Yes. Oh, Pamela, same here. I always hear something I need to hear during play date. Antoinette says, you have to shadow work your own issues around judgment and who you are so you can shed those limiting beliefs and do you. And L, that internal negative voice is someone else. It's never our authentic voice. Our self-critic is formed, inherited from others. Yeah, when you said that to me, Elle, I really had to stop and think about that one, but you are not wrong. All right, here is this, and I'm sorry, it's an out-of-print deck for anybody who sees cards in Playdate that they really like, but here is our judgment from the Victorian Romantic Tarot. So here we kind of have two figures, both with wings. All of these people kind of looking up, sort of, some of them looking up adoringly. What do you think when you see this particular version of the card? Any thoughts? Wow, that's shiny. All that cold foil stamping. How can I get it so it doesn't blind you? Let's see. There. That's kind of working, but let me know if you need me to pull it up close again. Celtic Tarot Sheila, hello, welcome in. Donna had said, yes, Chris, the judgments of others can only hurt us if there's a little bit that we secretly believe is true. Very true. We allow those voices to get in and pick at us, right? And pick at our self-worth. Aquarius L says they look like they're having a party or a wedding. Yeah, this feels, again, I'm starting to see more and more with each card, this sort of, and I'm going to pull this up again because I know it's so shiny, this celebratory vibe. Like here, like holding this wreath out or holding both of these wreaths out, like they're going to put them on their heads and be like, okay, come join the fun. Put on your party hat. Chris says, I'm trying hard not to see a mic drop motion. Whoops, from that chap with the laurel wreath, right? They actually both have one. Hers is hard to see because it's kind of in the green of his robes there, but she's got one as well. Justin said, we should make decisions based on values and principles. It's not what you post on Facebook. It's how you act when no one is watching that defines who we are. Exactly right. Yeah. Who you are when nobody is watching. That's your authentic self. Are you brave enough to put it out there? You know? So we're having a party. We're having a mic drop moment. Perhaps it's like, yeah, I did that. I did that cool thing. Like I can reflect and think positively about that. Mic drop. Let's see. Gigi's responding to L. I think it totally depends. Sometimes we just screw up and need to deal with it and forgive ourselves. Sometimes our conscience prevents us from believing we deserve to shine. True, right? But then we have to think about, where is that internal voice? Where is that conscience coming from? Is it really truly yours, or is it because of something else somebody said to you? Donna asks, is it a wedding ceremony for the couple that is embracing? Are the attendees earning their wreaths? Simon says, but I'm so boring when nobody is watching. Simon, that sounded like a judgy voice just then. Just saying. All right, let's see if there's anything from the book that might help you out here. The picture we have chosen, let's see. So the Tarot Judgment card traditionally shows an instantly recognizable biblical Last Judgment scene in which an angel sounds a trumpet to waken the dead who are rising for their day of reckoning. Oh, they were dead people. That's right. I kind of forget about that element. The picture we have chosen is gentler and doesn't have a Christian iconography, but it conveys the meaning of this card, essentially about beginning a new life with great charm. The young couple are kneeling, not in front of an angel, but instead before the fairy king and queen, Titiana and Oberon. Sorry for my pronunciation. They are being blessed by other fairies, though in fact, the harp-playing fairies are very much in the traditional style of angels and are clearly about to arise to begin a glorious new life. Are they being judged? Certainly they are being acknowledged for their actions and found worthy of reward. So the question is, are they being judged or acknowledged? I kind of like that aspect of it. Let's see. Justin said, that's the thing. We all have a shadow. We are all capable of tremendous evil. You aren't a noun, you're a verb. You are not who you were yesterday. That's intense, but yes. Leanne says, I saw figures with wings like that in a Valentine's ASMR, and they were referred to as Cupid. So the card depicts Cupid and Psyche calling people to their higher purpose. Love it. Okay. Elle says, oh yeah, totally. And I guess that's more the short-term voice, seeking justice. Whereas internalized long-term beliefs that negatively impact us, that seek no justice, only to inhibit us, is deeper. It's definitely, sometimes those roots take form, right? A lot quicker. Becca says, PJs, Netflix, getting food, etc., etc. Like when we're all like just chilling out when nobody is watching. Maybe that's something. Maybe we're all a lot more calm and relaxed when other people are not watching. We don't feel like we have to perform as much, perhaps. All right, let's get to answering Aquarius Owl's question. Let me see if I can get it to show. What will be a positive message to get us through the week? What will be a positive message to get us through the week? Okay, wait, let me get that book back out here because I feel like it had like such a positive message built right into it, which was they are being acknowledged and found worthy of reward. So the efforts that you have made, the hard work that you have done, oh, sorry if I kicked the camera, you are worthy. You are deserving of reward, right? So maybe try to quiet down that inner critic a little bit so that we can carry forward and feel positive about the week ahead. Just some thoughts. Let's see, Justin says, no, it's just that people like to talk about how good they are. That's the current world. It's like to do a good deed and don't tell a soul. Yeah, I knew what you meant, Justin. Yeah, it's like, did I do that because it gives me attention from others, or did I do it because I just clearly wanted to do that? Like if you walk by a piece of trash on the street, do you pick it up, or do you only pick it up when there's somebody around to see you do it? You know? Feline says, when no one is around, my cats still judge me. Gypsy says, accept a compliment when given. I like that. Debbie says, that is the perfect message. Okay, I'm glad that is speaking to you. Be kind and lighten your heart. Yes. Any other thoughts on this one before we move on to card number 3? This is really shiny, so I feel like I'm just blinding you all as I show you this card. Moira says, judgment is a calling to be your highest authentic self. Chris says, so this card makes me think of how blissful and fulfilled we can feel when we work hard and move past our shadows. So the positive message is just that. After the difficulty, there is joy, right? There is reward. But cats are people too. Some people really think so, and some cats really think so too. All right, feel free to keep your answers coming. Oh, like White Tree Tarot here says, scene from Shakespeare's Midsummer Night's Dream, Fairy King and Queen had to go through trials before they found their happily ever after. You will find your happiness at the end of this road. And Tarot Trainee says, recognize your personal good deeds. As a mom, I tend to judge where I fail. The kitchen is a mess, not my success where I made dinner. right? It's so easy to concentrate on the things that go wrong. And I think the more we celebrate our successes, that is what carries us through to the next thing and getting over the next challenge or the next hurdle or getting the dishes done, whatever it might be. I love this advice. Speak to yourself as you would speak to a good friend. Okay, my next stack is a new one to my collection that just arrived this week. And I'm really excited about it. It's been out in the community for a while. It's sat on my wish list forever. And it kind of came off. And then a dear friend of mine got the deck and told me about the book, which I've not heard a lot of people talk about. Barbara says, we are always welcome to our community like the prodigal son. So I'm interested to tackle this one with you. I have the True Black Tarot. This is a gorgeous deck, but I feel like somehow the book has just not gotten the attention that I'm starting to feel like it deserves. Let's see here. Let's get to, there's the moon. These do have the rose petal finish, which can be sometimes a little tricky to manage. Okay. So here is, these are the backs, by the way, if you haven't seen these. These kind of go in and out of stock, but he seems to like release more decks every week. This is the Judgment card. Again, we're going to have a lot of bright, shiny light in your faces today. But let's see if we can get a little focus so you can see a bit more about what's going on in the card. Can we focus on something not shiny? There we go. We'll go from the bottom up. So we can see we have kind of in the dark background, we have these things, and he addresses those in the book. So here we have this kind of bright, shining character. Now this is interesting that we have 3 arms. Looks like they're throwing a javelin. Simon says, this was my first ever rose petal book. Oh yeah, Elle, you know I'm going to read the book. Is it the real rose petal or one? No, this is like the nice, this is really, really nice cardstock, but people have complained that it can be a little bit difficult to shuffle. I'm going to read you the book on this one because it's such a cool book. I've only read a couple of cards so far, but it's like 2 pages, so I won't read the whole thing. But let me pick out some good bits, especially about the additional artwork. A menacing being strides through the clouds. One hand points to the accused while another readies a long spear. For sinners, the time of reckoning has come. So here we've got a little bit of a darker aspect to the Judgment card. Judgment, though, must be enacted across all beings alike, including the judge herself. A third hand clutches a ring of thorns, a symbol of penance for past wrongs, while a fourth hand, okay, there's a fourth hand in here somewhere, gestures towards a healing wound, the closure and forgiveness of misdeeds repaid. Remember how we were talking about that earlier, right? It's like, okay, that's been repaid. That wound is closed. We don't need to reopen it. Now I'm going to skip to the additional artwork because there's some really cool stuff in these cards. Surrounding the towering figure are 7 trumpets or shofar. So remember we were talking about that earlier. So that's what we see. Can you see that shine there? So there's 4 of them. I don't know where the other ones are. I don't know, but they're probably in there somewhere. During the age of Abrahamic religions, these trumpets were a traditional sacred craft of the ancient Hebrews and was made from ram's horns, lending to their spiraling shape. Look at you guys all knowing this earlier in the chat today. The Christian book of Revelation signals the end times by the blowing of these 7 trumpets, each bringing forth an apocalyptic event, ranging from a third of all trees and fish dying to the opening of a bottomless pit from which poured scorpion-tailed war horses. The Islamic Quran also signals the end time with 2 blows of a trumpet, first causing all on earth to fall dead and finally to arise and await judgment. So there's a lot more in this book than I gave it credit for when I've seen it in the past. So let me see what you guys think. Barbara says, way darker than I ever interpreted this card in the past. And it's interesting, right? Looking at these cards from different angles. I love the positive aspects that we've brought, but I think it's also important to see the other side of them. Justin says, I still haven't figured out what rose petal finish is. Yeah, I think you'll know it when you finally feel it. Let's see. Antoinette says, I'm late on the reply regarding water and meaning. So kind of coming back to the original. There is a need, there's a need to wash away whatever is troubling them. Something, a memory, experience, episode, something holding them back. Oh, be it not flat. Sorry, I'm not quite following there, Antoinette. I'm so sorry. Your autocorrect is messing with you. Okay, we are all talking about the rose petal finish of this card. Do you guys, with what I was kind of saying and reading, does this bring anything new or different? Does it feel more like it's negative direct judgment to you? I think it depends on how you shuffle. For folks who do overhand, like riffle shuffling, I think rose petal is great, actually. Okay, Donna says, to quote Ghostbusters, real Wrath of God type stuff. Yes. Yes, totally. All right, why don't I bring the question, because that might get your brain wheels flowing. So this one, rolling? Okama asks, what do we need to let go this week? Ooh, okay, I love this, because I'm going to bring it back to kind of some of the things we've been saying already. It's letting go of those dark, negative, spear-throwing inner voices that prevent us from being able to look at ourselves objectively and allow ourselves to be authentically us without that fear of external judgment, is one way I could maybe answer that question with this card. Like, dodge the spear, folks. Duck. What do you guys think? Simon has this version that has, it was the Hierophant, right, that was spelled incorrectly. I almost had that version, and then I just put this one on the shelf for a while. Can we see the back? Yes, you can. But only if you help me answer this question. There are the backs. So you can see it's got this beautiful line work in the background. And I love how that gets that. It really shows up on the camera quite nice. Although I still couldn't find the other 3 trumpets. I don't know what my problem is. Anyway, anyone answering the question? Jackie says, forgive yourself, right? Or maybe it is that you need to recognize that there is something that you need to atone so that you can let go of. Like, is there something that you've had difficulty facing, right? So maybe something that you're not as proud of, or something that you want to make amends for, right? If you can actually do that, then you can let it go. And then you can stop that voice, or you can stop that thing from resurfacing or kind of dragging you down as you're trying to move forward. That's what I was wondering, Donna, if a couple of the trumpets are entwined with each other. It looks like maybe they don't really look like trumpets to me at all, to be fair. Yeah, Feline says, don't be so critical. Any other thoughts? Am I losing you? Antoinette says, you are the keeper of the key to unlock your own potential and movement. Donna says, let go of harsh judgment towards yourself and others. Oh yeah, the Brady Tarot is a great example of the rose petal finish, for sure. I love this, Donna. Yeah, let go of harsh judgment towards yourself and others. I don't know. Maybe you need to drop the spear. Maybe you need to throw the spear. One way or another, you're letting go of the darn thing, though, right? Any other thoughts before we move on? Let's see. Barbara says, the dark meaning, let go of inauthenticity. Don't let yourself off the hook so easily. Take responsibility. Exactly. In that case, maybe we are deserving of being speared until we deal with our stuff. Elle says, let go of unworthiness and the feeling of bottomless atonement. You is worthy. Let's see. Gypsy in the Forest said, don't be blinded by your self-judgment, right? Which does look like it could be pretty blinding in this card. I like that interpretation of this one. Okay. Thank you, folks. All right. Let's keep moving so I don't keep you too long today. I actually have a lunch to go to as well this afternoon. All right. So deck number 4, the Muse Tarot by Chris Ann. This is the mass market edition. And this one this is kind of a collage style deck. So we'll see how this goes. And this one, oh, I like this. This is really pretty. This card has been renamed the awakening. These are the backs for those who maybe haven't seen this. It's a little bit bright, but okay, camera. My camera hates me today. There we go. These are the fronts, but I'm going to see what you guys were saying about the last one. Antoinette was saying, release the issues that are causing the inner dialogue and bitching. It isn't serving you. Excel and recognize you're happy. Yes. Emily's listening. That's good, Emily. I hope you heard our answers to your question. And then Gigi had said yes, and try to learn and discern between the programmed beliefs, like Elle said, and what really needs to be looked at and worked with. Yes, yes, yes. All right. So what do you guys think about this particular version of the card? I love this, like this gazing up into the light that she's doing here, right? It feels like, and again, calling it the awakening rather than judgment brings, again, sort of this level of awareness that feels less critical. It might still involve the same amount of work, but we're able to look at it as, hey, I'm learning from this. I'm coming to new realizations, new understandings based on experiences or reflections that we've done as we kind of look back over our journey. Let's see. What do you guys think? Anything? Thoughts? Shall we go straight to the question? Okay, feel free to give me some of your general thoughts, but we're going to keep moving right along here, and I will bring up Brittany's question, which is, what can we do to manage the stress of the upcoming week in a healthy way? All right, and then we have here from Gigi, the cracks are where the light gets out. Oh, that's interesting. That's a great way of looking at that. Did I pull this up close for you guys? I don't think I did. Let me do that. So here's our nice close-up look of this card. Like she has like the galaxy in her skin. That is beautiful. And then all those clouds. And it's interesting because I looked at it initially like as if the light source was coming from above, but it seems like that light source is coming from within, doesn't it? This is the Muse Tarot, for those who missed it. Regina says, the direction of the beam of light is interesting. Truth expanding from the self to the outer world, or light concentrating within. Yes, Regina, loving that. Barbara says she's allowing herself to be forgiven. I'm going backwards here. Chris says her heart is lighting the way, it looks like. And Gypsy in the Forest said, look outwardly, less navel gazing, right? So stop looking down and in, right? Look up and out. I like that. Coming down here, Emily said, get outside into the sunlight and breathe. Prioritize physical health and joy. What's that at the bottom right corner? Is it books? I don't know. Let's take a look. Looks like mountains to me. Maybe kind of similar to the mountains we see in the background. Hello. There we are of the original. Donna says, becoming aware of things happening in the world around you that you may not have realized before. Jonathan, it's Easter. I actually am surprised we've had so many people here considering. But aloha. Clouded mountains in the corner. Yep, Simon. So what can we do to manage the stress of the upcoming week in a healthy way? So I know you guys were kind of commenting somewhat generically or generally on the card, but I think that's right. Like Emily was answering it, go outside into the sunlight and breathe. But thinking about this looking up and out and forward, right? Rather than internalizing and hunching down and going within. Jackie says, I see hands. I see hands here. Like, she's kind of like, this is where this light is coming out. Any other thoughts on that? What we can do to manage the stress of the upcoming week in a healthy way? Yeah, and so maybe too, what is bringing the stress? So whatever it is that's causing us to potentially feel stress about that upcoming week, what is that stress carrying forward from something that can be let go or something that we no longer have to obsess or worry about, and maybe letting some of that go so that we're only carrying forward what we actually need for the coming week might help reduce that stress a bit. Tarot Trini says this feels like embrace your inner strength and let your light shine. Elle says act from the heart and not the head. Chris says the figure in the card is above the clouds, so try to move past all of the illusions and confusion. Get yourself to a headspace where you can see more clearly. This will lessen the stress. Donna, don't internalize everything. Expand outward. Oh, you guys have got some good answers to this one. Barbara says, forgive yourself. Don't judge your success based on an unrealistic to-do list. Right? Like, and then it kind of goes back too to celebrating those things that we have accomplished. If we stay so focused on what we haven't done, what isn't fixed, what isn't right, rather than focusing on, oh, here's what I did get done. Here's what I did do. Here's what I have learned and recognized. Those things can propel us forward way more than the negative stuff that's sort of pushing us backwards. Feline says, rise above the stress. It isn't permanent. You have positivity within you. Let it shine. Jonathan, don't weigh yourself down with the judgment of others. Jackie, self-care. And Antoinette, be the beacon that helps others to see the options available to them rather than brick walls. Yeah, so sometimes too, being able to shine that light for others helps us to better see it ourselves, oftentimes. All right, those are great. We have one more deck. Gigi says, very unstressing. That's good. That's good. I don't know if we lost Brittany along the way, but hopefully that helps. And the last one we have, ironically, is a shadow-based shadow work deck, the Shadowland Tarot. Chris had said, also, she is the night sky, so don't hold all the shadow within you. Find a healthy outlet. Oh, I like that observation there, Chris. I want to get this big book out because we might want it. And then Neem had said, I see external shadow, internal light. You must release and cleanse. Yes. And then Emily, embrace all of your gifts and reassimilated shadows so you can shine for others and be a light. And then Justin says, I've been feeling great for a change, warm weather, and I never feel stressed during trout season. Well, that's great. See, and remembering that and focusing on it. Oh, I didn't even hear TK. That's how used to it I am. TK says hi. Okay, let's see here. All right, so we have a renamed card in this one as well. Oh, I got this card this week. This is our fun little bats from the Shadowland Tarot here. So here is, instead of judgment, we have discretion in the Shadowland Tarot. Let's take a nice close-up look. Our horned owl with the funny red feetsers or socks, I don't know, kind of looking at things from above. So this card for me sort of immediately brings the concept of looking at things from sort of a bird's eye view, rising above it and being able to look at it objectively. You're not so close to the situation, which allows you to see it for what it really is I think something that comes through here for me. Those little owl boots are adores, right? Let's see here. Love this deck. Get some perspective, says Donna. Yes. Jackie says he is assessing the situation. And Gracia's thinking about it. So I think that's kind of the purpose right here of this card, Gracia. Feel free to bring kind of your general ideas. Simon says, arriving home. You mean all I had to do was click my red shoes together this whole time? Right? It's like the answer was right in front of you. I like that. Feline says, being an observer, maybe not necessarily speaking your opinion about a situation. Yeah, sometimes we can learn and contribute a lot more through that observation and not necessarily needing to insert ourselves into something, especially if it's outside of us. All right, let's get our last question just because we're getting close to the end of time here. We still have our reversals and activity. Let's see here. Elle said, zooming out, seeing the larger picture. Yes. So Antoinette's question for us today is, how can we better manage our finances going forward? Oh, is this not the perfect card for this? Such a practical question for the judgment card, But like Elle just said, I feel like this is the answer, even though she didn't necessarily know this was the question. Wow, TK. Zoom out and see the larger picture. So when we think about managing our finances, we have to be able to look at the big picture to do it well, right? We can't be focused on the nuance. We have to look at what are our financial goals, or what is it that we need in order just to get to the end of the month and be able to pay our rent. It can be a spectrum of things, but if we're just focused on today, that's going to make it a lot more difficult, because you can look at your bank account balance and be like, yeah, I can totally afford those decks. And then you're like, oh, forgot about the rent or the car payment or whatever other practical things. So making sure you're looking at that big picture is, I think, the best possible practical answer for that question. But let me see what you guys think. Oh, Gigi's going a whole other way here. Life is short, buy the red shoes. I love that, Gigi, so much. You just don't even know. Truth, says Simon. Yeah, you can't take it with you. So that's another good one to kind of keep in mind, right? So when I say think about your long-term goals, keep it realistic. Tomorrow is not a guarantee. Elle says being purposeful, wait, it jumped on me, in our movements. It could potentially make or break the situation if the owl gets dinner that night. Yeah. See the keyword at the bottom of the card for the answer. Yes, discretion. Be discerning about where you spend your money, especially the disposable piece of it, right? But I'm still kind of loving Gigi's answer. Gigi may have just one play date today. Emily, we've got to be firm with ourselves and look closely at all the details. Yes. Donna says, yeah, don't necessarily need those fancy new shoes. That budgeting thing reminds me of someone. I don't know what you're talking about, Elle. I totally know what you're talking about, Elle. Chris, yes, don a pair of fancy red shoes and work that balance book. Make it your bitch. I needed to add the A in there because I thought it would be more fun. Oh, TK has thoughts. He has serious thoughts. Let's see here. Pauline says, look at all possible options before making a purchase. Will it be beneficial long-term? Don't spend frivolously. Those are the equivalent of Christian Louboutin shoes. Yeah. Yep. And I own a pair, Emily, if that tells you anything about the choices I make in life. Barbara says, this card illuminates another different interpretation. My head is exploding today. Yeah, I think we're all thinking about judgment in a much more well-rounded way, which is why I love Tarot Playdate. Tarot says, as a tarot person, this reminds me to look at what you already have. Do you need more? Does something you already have fit the purpose? Don't forget to look at what you really need. Yeah, but also remember, we have other motivations than needs sometimes, right? So that bigger picture means looking beyond that. And also, I just want to say, when we say, what do I really need? Or what is it that serves me? Do we have those external voices like, oh, you don't need that? Well, it's according to somebody else, right? So I think there's the balance between assessing it in an objective way while also tuning out the external voices and being really realistic and real with ourselves. He wants a treat. Yeah. Jessica says, don't count finances before you get paid. Jackie, wait till payday. Jen owns the shoes. Well, there's the answer. What would Jen do? Sometimes I'm very practical and sometimes I'm very impulsive. It's the balance. Do you see where I'm going with that? All right. Donna says, assessing your needs with a critical eye. Okay, let's get, I think we answered that last question. Let's talk about really quickly what happens when judgment is reversed. And not everybody reads reversals, but I'm sure we have thoughts about either when this is reversed, and we have people that do read reversals, or if judgment is in a blocked or challenged position in a spread. I hope next week I'm not doing this weird color thing. So maybe here is where we're not looking at things with discretion and objectively, right? Maybe when judgment is reversed, we're so focused on the details, we're literally missing the big picture. We're not learning the lessons. Oh, there's just, the light is not shining. This one's not hard, I feel like, right? Or here we've been absolutely stabbed by the spear and we are gushing and we're not learning a darn thing. Those are just some initial thoughts, but what do you guys think? When you see this card in nope, that's not the one I want. A reversed, blocked, shadowy position. Elle says, this play date has challenged me. I go blank on judgment, so it's much appreciated. I'm glad it's helping, Elle. Gigi says, all I see is the child falling into the trumpet, right? Like getting swallowed up, right? So has that child been lost because we've turned this thing all upside down? Today's play date, Simon's gone from Silence of the Lambs to the Wizard of Oz. You know, that's quite a journey. That's really quite a journey, my friend. Regina says one way to look at the reversal is like Monopoly. Do not pass go. Oh, I kind of like that, right? It's like you're sort of missing, you're either not getting to the next stage, right? This is blocking us from getting to the world. We need to go back and reassess. We haven't assessed it correctly. We haven't been able to acknowledge the good and the bad and the things that we need to be looking back on and the lessons that we need to learn. There's still more work to do there. Emily says, you aren't aligned. There are areas of conflict. Oh, we perhaps aren't walking our talk. We need to reassess the situation versus our needs and others and our behaviors and actions. Yes, not learning from your mistakes, not admitting to your mistakes. Judgment without the possibility of redemption. Ooh, that feels like an ouchie, but also I totally see what you're saying there. Don't take credit for others people's issues. I like how you worded that. You didn't say don't take credit for other people's like good deeds, right? It's like don't take credit for their issues. Don't internalize that stuff that people are projecting on you. That's not really your lesson to learn. That's theirs. Ooh, love this. Chris, reversed, I think, means we are trying to get to the fulfilled world card without dealing with the stuff in our past that holds us back, whether that's shadows or other people or external issues. Exactly, Chris. Or Emily says judgment in a holier than thou way. Yeah, like are you placing judgment rather than being discerning in your judgments? Ooh. Okay, Elle, when you put the opinion of others over your own, let's see, one head radiating of big ideas, your unique shine, then with the figures over the top. The world only has one of you. Show up authentically. Oh, love that. Emily, yes, a refusal to face the shadows. Elle says, you're you for a reason. Show up as you. Jonathan, reversed, it shows resistance to changes, making judgments and choices. It may also show opposition to revelation and turning your back on what needs to be brought to attention. And then Antoinette says, yeah, you aren't walking the walk that you talk. Feline, yes, being judgmental of others as if you don't make mistakes. You know, I always make this joke about when I can throw stones out of my glass house, which means I cannot do that. Like I can't judge others for doing and exhibiting the same traits and things that I do, right? So I need to assess myself first before I go projecting my stuff onto other people. Oh, TK. Oh, I know. Meme says, reversed from the visual, it looks like praise. The audience praising the trumpeter on stage. Think a concert. I do no wrong. Look at me. Fan out. Yeah. Long-haired, skinny-eyed toe. You are making it just for the end here. Yep, Chris, let whoever it is without sin cast the first stone. All those rocks be sitting on the ground. I'm just saying. Jonathan, it can also represent regret, possibly from a missed opportunity. Doubt may arise, which keeps you from making any progress. Wow. And then, oh, I like this one too, Queen Asat Hero. Not stepping up to your calling. That's a really different way of looking at the shadow or the reverse of this. Have a good dinner, Antoinette. Okay, so before we leave each other, I do have an activity which I will post in the description box below this video, as well as in the link in the Tarot Playdate Facebook group. Please bring your judgment cards to Playdate. I feel like there's probably a whole bunch that are going to give us different ways of thinking of this card. So I would love to see you post in there. Okay. Oh, and I have an announcement. So don't forget to stay tuned to the end after we read the activity, because I just want to apprise you guys of one little thing. All right. Before I read this, my voice is dying. This week's activity is called A Time for Reflection. Think about reflecting back on your life and the following questions as you shuffle your deck. Pull a card for each position. So this is a 3-card spread. 1, what has been my greatest impact on the people in my life when I reflect back on my life thus far? Position 2, what do I wish I had done better when I reflect back on my life thus far? And 3, what am I most proud of when I reflect back on my life thus far? So thinking about how we've impacted others, what are the things that we want to learn from? And that's what I mean when I wish I had done better. It's so that we can take those lessons, not so that we can beat ourselves up. And then finally, what am I most proud of? Let's reflect on our accomplishments. And I think ending on that card is really an important piece of this little puzzle. All right, my friends. So that was Judgment. Next week, we will be taking a break from TK is so loud. We will be taking a break from Tarot Playdate. I believe that Queena said over on Oreo's Girl is going to be having another one of her summits. I was invited. I am not going to be attending that one. I have a few things going on, but I thought in order to make room, it's happening at 11 a.m. my time Pacific. So that would be 2 p.m. Eastern, and that would be 7 p.m. UK or British time over there. So that live will be going on, and we will have a 1-week reprieve from Playdate, a lot of time to sit with Judgment and Discernment, and then we'll be back the following week. So that should be the 18th of April. So thank you all for being here and making this another really fun and fabulous Playdate. I appreciate all of you so, so much. And if I missed any comments at the end, I apologize. OL has a TK translation. Make sure to post your judgment cards in the Facebook group. That's right. Thank you, Elle. All right, my friends, I hope you have a fabulous couple of weeks, and I will see you in 2 weeks for Playdate number 67. Mwah! Thank you.